It was the storm that brought him to her door, muddy paws, trembling limbs, and eyes that held a story far too heavy for something so small. Mia never intended to get a dog. Her heart was still healing from too many losses, a miscarriage, a divorce, a father lost to cancer. But when she opened her front door that night and saw the tiny, matted creature curled under the porch light, something inside her shifted. He was soaked to the bone, shivering uncontrollably, and covered in grime. His fur was a patchy mess, and one of his legs didn't seem to work right. He didn't bark, didn't growl, just looked at her with wide, desperate eyes as if asking for permission to exist. Mia didn't hesitate. She bundled the puppy in an old sweatshirt and brought him inside. The house was quiet, too quiet, like it had been since her ex-husband moved out and the baby room became just another door she kept shut. But now, with the soft whimpering of the creature in her arms, the silence felt a little less empty. She named him Lucky. Not because he looked lucky, far from it, but because she knew survival took more than just circumstance. It took will, and this little guy clearly had plenty of it. The next morning, she took Lucky to the local vet, Dr. Harper, who had a reputation for knowing animals better than people. Mia expected a routine checkup, maybe a round of vaccines, a diagnosis for the limp. But what she got instead made her heart stop. Dr. Harper was quiet as he examined Lucky. His brow furrowed, fingers gently probing the puppy's fragile limbs, his chest, his ears. Then he stopped and looked at Mia. "Where did you find him?" he asked. "On my porch last night," she replied. "During the storm." Dr. Harper sat back on his stool, eyes dark with something more than concern. "This isn't a stray, Mia. He's been abused. Badly. And, he's not just a puppy." Mia blinked. "What do you mean?" "He's malnourished, yes, but this isn't just neglect. There are scars, signs of old fractures that weren't set right. And he's a wolfdog. Not a full dog. Likely part timber wolf." Mia's stomach twisted. A wolfdog? What does that mean? It means he's not legally supposed to be kept as a pet without a license. And it also means someone wanted to break him, likely for fighting or to sell him illegally. The room spun a little. Mia looked down at Lucky, who had curled into her lap, his eyes fluttering closed in the first peaceful moment he'd probably had in months. "I can't give him up," she said, voice trembling. Dr. Harper studied her. "Then you'll have to fight for him." And so she did. The next few months became a whirlwind of vet visits, legal paperwork, online forums, and late-night reading about wolfdog behavior. Lucky needed special care, training, and trust, things that didn't come easily to a creature taught that the world was pain. He snapped at her once, when she tried to touch his paw. Another time he panicked during a thunderstorm and destroyed half the living room. But never did he bite, never did he give up. And neither did Mia. In return, something incredible happened. Lucky began to trust her. Not all at once, but in tiny, miraculous ways. He would sleep beside her bed. He would eat only if she was nearby. He would nuzzle her hand when she cried, which she did often, especially on the anniversary of the baby she lost. In caring for Lucky, Mia found a purpose again. She was no longer the woman who sat in silence, staring at the unopened nursery door. She became someone who got up at sunrise to walk with a half-wolf who once flinched at every shadow. Someone who spoke up at town council meetings about animal cruelty laws. Someone who smiled again. But it wasn't over yet. One afternoon, while they were out walking, a black SUV pulled up near the park. The driver didn't speak, just stared at Lucky and drove off. Mia's stomach dropped. The next day, a notice was taped to her door. A cease and desist from a man claiming to be Lucky's rightful owner. Mia took the paper straight to Dr. Harper, whose contacts in the rescue world had already pieced together part of Lucky's past. The man was involved in illegal exotic animal trade. Lucky had escaped from a breeding compound just days before the storm. It took everything, court appearances, affidavits, and a viral video Mia made about Lucky's story, to keep him from being taken. But when the judge looked at Lucky curled at Mia's feet during the final hearing, the decision became clear. "This animal is not property," the judge said. "He is a victim, and he is home." Tears streamed down Mia's cheeks as she hugged Lucky in the courtroom, surrounded by people who had come to support them, neighbors, animal lovers, even strangers who had followed their journey online. Years passed. Lucky grew stronger, his fur thick and soft, his eyes brighter. He never became fully tame, some part of the wild always lived in him, but he loved Mia, fiercely. And she loved him back with everything she had. They started a sanctuary together, for abused dogs, abandoned wolf dogs, creatures deemed too broken to be saved. Mia found her calling in the very pain that once nearly broke her. And every night, as she sat by the fire with Lucky's massive head in her lap, she whispered a quiet truth. You saved me too. Because sometimes, love doesn't come in the form we expect. Sometimes, it comes in the rain, wrapped in mud and fear, asking for nothing but a second chance. And sometimes, when you say yes to saving someone else, you end up saving yourself.